Joining us on set is Sultan Barakat. He's Professor of Public Policy at Hamad Bin Khalifa University and an expert on post-war reconstruction. Very good to have you with us. I know you've been with us over the last couple of hours listening to what's been going on. Let's talk about this master plan that has been put forward for Gaza. To all intents and purposes, for somebody who's not au fait with how these things work, to me it looked like a building proposal, essentially. It looked predominantly like this is how we can restructure it and make it look really glamorous. There's no indication about any efforts to preserve Palestinian culture, any indication about what's going to happen in terms of Palestinians being able to move in and out of Gaza, the role of the Israeli military, particularly in all of this. What's your take on this?
Well, if you listen carefully to what Trump has been saying, he cannot get himself to mention Palestinians. Throughout, he's talking about Gaza as if it's uninhabited. And of course, this plays directly into the agenda of Israel. Israel would like three things from Gaza. One is security, so that there is no further attacks from the Palestinians. They ideally would like the Palestinians to forget about the right of return to proper Israel, because 70% of the population of Gaza are refugees who originated from the 1948 and 1967 wars. So they would like to create a great distance between them and the possibility of return. And they see reconstruction, glamorous as it is, as one way of doing it. And the third, which I think is still on their mind, is to try and push as many as possible of those Palestinians, both the original refugees and the original inhabitants of Gaza, outside the Strip. Not necessarily, they did not manage to do it in one go, and the Trump plan stopped that. They will do it gradually. Now, if you stretch a reconstruction plan of this glorious dimension for 35 years, there will be gentrification, whether you like it or not. Different people, different population will come in, attracted by whatever is going to take place there. Some of them may be Palestinians coming from other parts, maybe some returning from abroad. A lot will be people that have nothing to do with this region. All those who signed up to the board membership, aside maybe from four or five regional countries, everybody else is totally irrelevant. Mongolia, what's it got to do with this? Argentina, Hungary, Azerbaijan, Armenia, etc. These are countries that are really speculating in the hope that they will create a slightly better relationship with Trump. So they see this as a possibility for them to spend time playing, as we were saying earlier, with a sort of in a sandpit, building castles with the U.S. president. But it's not at all about the suffering of the Palestinians. And very importantly, it's not about giving the Palestinians justice. What it does, it distracts the rest of the world from the demands of justice for the Palestinians. As you recall, a few weeks ago, we reached really peak time in terms of the world recognizing the right for the Palestinians, trying to demand some accountability from Israel, boycotting Israel, and so on. They're trying to use all of this to whitewash what has happened in terms of genocide and pretend that everybody now is lining up to try and create a better future without clearly saying this is a commitment to a sovereign Palestinian state, without linking Gaza to the West Bank, without giving commitment that the Palestinians will be in the driving seat, not passengers at the end of this train. Nothing is going to change. The anger will bottle up, the victims will come back to demand their rights again, and we will see, cycles of violence regenerated. So
I want to pick you up, just forgive me for interrupting, but I want to pick you up on that point that you were referring to in terms of justice, because of course we're also talking about a situation where there are ongoing allegations of human rights abuses and of war crimes that have been lodged against members of both sides, and yet throughout all of this, none of that seems to be playing any role. There is no reference to that at all. Is there any expectation that any of those legal processes that have been begun in the last couple of years are likely to be allowed to continue?
Well, we hope that they will, and the fact that European countries did not sign up to this gives us, slim hope that some of them, at least Spain, Slovenia, and others, Ireland, will probably continue to push for that. Egypt, interestingly, has not signed up to this. I don't know if it's because they can't afford the $1 billion for a permanent membership, or it's another reason, but they haven't yet signed up, and that gives us a little bit of hope that things may still work in that direction. But ultimately, I think it's up to the Palestinians and those who associated themselves with their freedom to keep the pressure ongoing. None of the legal cases have been withdrawn, although Israel tried, and the United States put a lot of pressure on the courts, as you know, the ICJ, the ICC. None of that has succeeded yet, but we remain hopeful that there will be some justice.
Sultan Barakat, as always, we appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.